That looks good. We're off to a promising start. Anybody who happens to actually be watching this, hello. If we're not working, hello, ghosts in my head. You've been here a while, and I'm glad to have you. That looks like a mature rating. Yeah, it looks like we're actually live now. So
Yay!
let's break some of the special sauce and ready. One,
One,
two,
two,
three,
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 two,
two,
one.
one.
And there we are, now finally live, cocked locked, ready to rock. Bias Bros, a show where two people talk.
It's true. And a show where apparently anything can happen.
Anything, including
Anything.
nothing, which is a thing that can happen.
It's true, and it just happened.
And I'm drinking.
What are you drinking today?
Today is it's a what do you call it? A team up. Grains of Wrath and Backwoods created mixed nut stout.
Ooh, and they're not paying
It's
you
called
to
No Nuts, No Glory. No, nobody pays me to do anything.
No, nothing.
I can't
ever.
be bought. I enjoy the products that I enjoy.
There you
Teen
go.
Titans on Cartoon Network. It's not
Salud.
on Cartoon Network anymore. You only get fucking Teen Titans Go now, which is garbage.
I haven't seen it.
I hate it.
I'm sorry. I've heard your discontent for the show before.
I hate it.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Oh, you want to hug it out?
No.
Good, because it's gonna be hard to do from a state away.
With me, as always, my brother Jay. Say hi, Jay.
Hi, that's
Now
my
say
line.
Nothing else. It's a one-man show. Actually, no, you're here to do like a color commentary. Just describe the things I'm doing as I do them.
Oh, that's he's taking a drink. Hey, you got any gum?
Perfect. Is ask the audience for gum. It's an age-old technique. Everybody
Absolutely.
knows it. All right, this week, as always, we got a Barry Judd list for you, and this one is I'm just diving into Barry Judd this week.
Why not?
Because I think this week is more about our after topic. I think we kind of
Totally.
want to jam through that Barry Judd this week.
Totally.
So there we go. I'm going to use this for a Barry Judd thing until somebody like photoshops us a better one. I don't know. I got nothing. I'm not good at that
That's
stuff.
fair.
I'm not
Hey,
good
this
at
works.
that stuff.
It's fine.
Yeah. Barry Judd list this week. What we're doing video game adaptations. And if you happen to be watching this live, you can probably put together what our after topic is going to be, but I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it out loud.
We're gonna keep you in suspense.
Suspense! All right, who do you want to dive into this first? This is video game adaptations, and I do want to lead in heavily and say I said adaptations.
Okay. We'll tell you what. I'm not too confident with my list. Do you mind if I jump into mine first?
Do it.
Okay.
Do it!
So the list for today, movie adaptations. Devin, but well, I don't want to speak for you. First one on my list, and I gotta get this out of the way quick before I get, Blood Rain, the Blood Rain movie.
That's making your top list?
Yeah, I know, right?
It's real bad.
I know it is, but it's still. So I really got into the games for some reason. They're not amazing games. I mean, it's a video game with like.
At the time, they were really good. I would say probably they've aged out pretty good.
No. They aged out really quick, but still, they're a video game about some gal fighting vampire Nazis.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Quick, but it was fun for what it was, and what it was pretty weird. And the movies equally so. Not to mention they were directed by Bowl,
which doesn't help anything.
Doesn't help me. That's why I wanted to get this one out there quick. But you know what? It was the same kind of weird fascination I had with the games. I can't look. I don't have much. I can't speak for myself on it very well. I'm sorry, but they were just fun, and I enjoyed the first one enough to go and watch the sequel.
Okay.
And what's his name? I can't think of his name right now. The dude that played the brother on Titus. Dave.
Oh yeah, I know
What's
him as
his name?
Dave, but I don't know his real name.
Oh, I know it. And it's not coming right now, but he was in the sequel, which is awesome. We need to see him in more stuff.
Yeah, I mean he was like a background character in Transformers. He's one
Yeah,
of the
yeah, yeah.
military unit that just gets
Well, he
wiped the
was
fuck out.
no, he was relatively regular in that movie. He didn't get wiped
He's
out
the
super
first
quick.
one to die.
Was he? I thought he was in that for a
Yeah,
while.
no.
Oh, I'll have to double check that.
He
But he was also
gets taken out in the desert by the Scorpion bot.
okay. Fair enough. But he was also Scut Farkus in
Is
Christmas
that
Story.
him?
That's him. Yeah,
Okay.
back in the day when he's a kid and whatnot.
Yeah, I mean it fucking looks like him.
Oh yeah. But no, I mean the first one was great, and it has a great cast. Like what? Ben Kingsley is in it. Oh, Meatloaf is in it.
Meatloaf.
Meatloaf is in it. And I'm sorry, the Meatloaf thing. Lost my
You're
train of
welcome.
thought. There you go. But no, like, yeah, it wasn't the greatest movie. Was maybe not a good movie by common standards, but I enjoyed the hell out of it, and
Okay.
I can't really tell you why.
Okay.
Okay,
I accept you for being you.
thank you, I appreciate that. Next up, and this one I have not gotten to rewatch. I really want to, but I saw this movie back when we lived in our crap hole apartment back in the day.
Mhm.
We were just living in a haze of reefer and whatever. Silent Hill.
Silent Hill is really good, actually. Like I
It
really,
is.
a lot of like hardcore Silent Hill fans don't love it because it doesn't
Right.
faithfully follow anything.
It doesn't.
But as
and,
far as just being like a decent movie, yeah, no, it's a really decent movie.
and coming from somebody who didn't really play the games,
Right.
the movie itself was good. It was creepy as hell. And man, spoiler alert, that scene when they hold the cop over the fire.
Oh, see, I always go when he tears that chick's skin off.
Yeah, no, that was brutal too.
Because that
But
just
no,
comes off like a sheet. I'm like, man, that wasn't his first time doing that. First time it's chunky. You just end up ripping all the skin off in bits. That was a
No, it was a
practice
clean
move.
sweep.
He got it all at once, you know?
He's
It's like those
good. He's
dudes
good
who
at what he
can- who
does.
can pull the cloth off the table and not knock over the dishes.
Right.
It's like that,
That's skill.
but with skin.
With skin, yeah, it was a skin. I don't have words right now. I'm sorry.
First tangent, there's this great comic series called Harrow County that features a girl who is the reincarnation of a famous witch in her area.
Okay.
And her familiar, instead of a cat or an owl or a snake, it's a child who was flayed. So his skin acts as the mouthpiece that she carries around with her, and his skinless body acts as the enforcer that runs around in the woods and spies on her enemies. And so the skin can talk to her and talk about what the flayed body goes and sees.
What the hell?
Harrow County's dope. Harrow County is so good.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us on Bias Bros. Jay's got to go
I have
get
to go
freaked out now.
cry.
I gotta go
What?
cry. No, that's brutal, man.
Yeah, Harrow
Jesus.
County is really good.
All right.
They go
But
over
no, like that.
They go over the kid's backstory a little
Okay.
bit. He climbs into a patch of thorn bushes, and basically he's
Okay.
trying to hide from bullies, and so he's squishing himself further and further back into these thorn bushes as all of his skin is caught on the thorns and ripped off, and that's how the kid died.
What is this comic you're reading?
So good.
What's it about?
A girl who is the reincarnation of a evil witch in her village.
And what is she trying to do?
Now that she's
Just
the
wreak havoc
reincarnation,
and tear off skin?
No. Now that she's the reincarnation, she's like, look, I'm not that person. I'm here to help people. I can heal you. I can drive away evil spirits, but you also have to like not fuck with me.
So, like, I used to be this person. I'm not now. I can still do some shit, but we're using it for different reasons.
Yeah,
Okay. A story of redemption.
kinda.
Okay. All right.
It's really good.
Well, I believe you. It sounds brutal.
I like brutal.
That's fair.
Next
but no,
up on
like
your
that
list. Oh,
that
sorry, no,
scene.
go.
I'm trying to speak. You.
No!
I'm sorry.
Move along.
Oh right, that's right. You told me I can't speak.
Yeah.
No, the scene when they hold the cop over the fire was like, look, I said we lived in a haze of reefer, and I was really high when I watched this movie, but like it was like I was entranced by this scene, and then I just watched somebody get burned to death. Like this was a brutal
Yeah,
scene
they really
to
don't pull
watch,
any of the
man.
punches on that scene. And it's a very
No.
likable character too, so it has that
Right.
extra punch of like, I don't want this to happen.
But it's
Yeah.
happening and it's not letting me look away.
Yeah.
And they don't look away. Like that is what you watch. You watch her face close up shot for that whole sequence.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
No,
it's not
no
comfortable.
shaky cam. No. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
it was
it's really
brutal.
well done.
I do need to, they made a couple extra movies, right?
Yes, and I think it's either I think it's the first sequel has the actor who played Jon Snow in Game of Thrones.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't seen the
It's
sequels. I
not a
might go
good
check them out.
movie.
Well,
It's not his fault,
look,
but it's
for
not
the
a good
most
movie.
part, for the most part, and unfortunately, there's a lot that I haven't seen, so I can't speak for everything. But oftentimes, when they make a movie out of a video game, they are super hit and miss.
And it's actually more on the side of miss, to be honest.
Totally. But there's a lot that I haven't seen, probably some of the better ones. So I'm sorry if these aren't on our list. But yeah, I haven't. So anyway, moving on to something that sucks. Double Dragon.
Ugly, homely, yeah, classic.
Oh, totally. Like, look, they didn't really have much to go on. I mean, the video game was an arcade game, and it was just like a side scroller. You fight the monsters, and you're a couple of brothers who do karate.
There is some more to Double Dragon lore than
sure.
that. You gotta read the booklet, man. If you're not reading the booklet, what are you doing?
But how often do you read the booklet when you're playing an arcade game?
You never read the booklet.
You never read the booklet. Yeah, they included stuff like, well, I can't. Never mind. I can't talk about that yet. But
actually, here's what I will say:
yeah.
and me never read the booklet because we weren't in that age bracket. But we had an older brother of
totally
2 to 5 years, that dude would have read the booklet and known the lore.
Right, and explained it to us ad nauseum.
Right,
for sure. But as far as somebody who just played the arcade game, Double Dragon, the movie, was bonkers.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like, if you just took the visuals of Double Dragon and made them into a movie, perfect. Yeah. Fucking nailed it. Oh man, I can't... Names never come to me, and I apologize, but who played the T-1000? Not Patrick Stewart.
You gotta ask questions and then make things leave my brain. You talk, I'll look it up.
Well, he's in it. He plays the villain, does an amazing job, as he always does. And the special effects were fun for its day, you know, late 90s, goofy action movie. Extreme-ass characters with ridiculous plot lines. It was a fun ride, man.
Robert Patrick.
Yeah. Robert Patrick is amazing.
Yeah, he's really good.
Yeah, no, dude, it was fun. You can't take anything away from Double Dragon.
Yeah.
Take something away from Double Dragon.
That part where it's not as much like the video game as it should have been.
Which part? Oh, the whole movie?
pretty much the lot of it.
Well, what was the difference? Like, I'm not, challenging you. I'm asking you. I don't know.
It's one of those weird things where it's like kind of everything and nothing. Think of how different the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles comic versus video game versus like kids TV show versus first movie are. All of those are very different things, except they're all basically the same thing. Double Dragon's the same thing.
It's just like the tone and the, little details and things like that.
And the way they use some of the characters and yeah, it's it, but it's not.
It's probably very similar to the next item on my list.
It's what the fucking Borderlands movie is going to be. Good fuck, it looks so bad.
You just ruined my segue, but that's okay.
Do it. No, do it.
The next on my list was Mario Brothers.
We all knew it was going to be on your list. We've ruined it.
For sure. But I mean, like...
My wife suggested I put that on my list, and I was like, it's not going on my list.
Same kind of a thing, though. It's like, yeah, you went over the gist of it and took a bunch of liberties.
You took all the ingredients, but you didn't cook any of it right.
No, but... Which is true. Totally valid. The Mario Brothers movie makes no fucking sense compared to the video game, let alone stories in general.
Apparently they're gonna try it again.
Really?
My bet is it's gonna end up being a CG movie.
Oh, so it's gonna be an
That's
anime. It's gonna be a cartoon.
To me, that's the only way it could go and go well. But who knows? I've seen no actual anything other than they're like, we want to try again.
Well, look, the main villains in the video game are turtles and mushroom monsters. So how do you make a legitimate live action movie about the Mario Brothers without taking a bunch of liberties?
I'm not saying I know the answer to this,
but
I'm
not
just
that.
saying that what they handed us was the wrong answer.
Okay, look.
It's fun. I love the movie. I will watch the movie.
That's why I disagree, because it's fun. It doesn't make any sense compared to the video game, but it's a fun freaking movie. Bob Hoskins, John Leguizamo, not Bob Hoskins. So we already said him.
Let's just draw a loose comparison, and I can't imagine this is on your list. Maybe. How many more are on your list?
I have one more.
I hope this. This is it, isn't it? Maybe this will be your segue, and maybe it won't. But let me make a comparison for the Mario Brothers movie that I think is what really sets it different than a lot of other things.
Okay.
The Street Fighter movie.
Not on my list.
Good. The Street Fighter
there's
movie.
There's a reason that one wasn't on my list.
Is sort of at least about the Street Fighter tournament.
Sure.
Sorta.
Yeah.
Mario Brothers is sorta not at all what Mario Brothers is about.
But was Mario Brothers about anything?
Yes, like it was about at the end of the day, it's about a guy rescuing a princess.
Fine. And that's pretty much what the movie was about. It wasn't it? They include you got the wrong princess. They did that right. You got the turtle monsters. You got this dinosaur guy ruling this.
There were no turtle monsters. There were only mushroom monsters. Where were the turtle monsters?
There were turtle monsters.
Maybe.
There were the Goombas and the turtle Goombas. I don't know what else you call them, man.
The fucking other one. Yeah, they had like goggles and shit, right? Why did they have goggles?
Oh, you're talking about the movie.
Yes.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the game. I'm like, they had fucking both. What are you talking about?
Yeah, no, the game had both. But...
So in the movie, there were two kinds of Goombas. There was the circle-headed Goombas, and there was the reptilian-headed Goombas. That was their only. I'm not saying it was a good explanation, but that's all that they had.
Maybe I went too simple in saying tournament to tournament rescue print, but like, fucking Street Fighter was still set on goddamn Earth and shit. And, like, the characters
was Mario Brothers in Earth?
Like, people... No, but it definitely wasn't the same place the game took place. That wasn't the same thing.
No, it certainly wasn't.
You can look at Street Fighter and go, like, oh, yeah, that's Street Fighter. I don't think you could take any...
No, not a single shot.
Go to children now. And children who've never seen Mario Brothers and show them any one shot of Mario Brothers, and there is no kid who would go, oh, this is Mario Brothers. Where there's plenty of scenes. Blanca and fucking Vega, like, there's all these dudes who look like Street Fighter
characters. Is one scene towards the end of the movie when they finally put on their red and green overalls, and that's the only scene you could say, oh, wait, is this Mario Brothers?
I still bet you 9 out of 10 kids would never land on that.
Maybe not.
It was just okay. You got one more on your list.
Hold on, well, fuck it, never mind.
No, do it.
Can I say that I think it's really fun that they decided to put in Princess Daisy into the games after the movie?
Yeah,
she's a character now,
and she's her own character. She's not just a reskin of Peach.
Right. Yeah. She's her own thing.
Yeah.
Although I do find it upsetting that they why create a new princess for the movie? Like, why not just make it Princess Peach?
We don't talk about that.
All right, last on my list, and I think you can agree with me on this one. Finally, hopefully, sometime on my list, Detective Pikachu.
Okay, there was one I said might cross over on our two lists, and
this was not it.
It was Detective.
It was
Pikachu.
This. Yes.
I do still have a backup, so we're good. But yeah, no. Honestly, probably the first solid movie to game like really. I can't think of a other, generic kids movie. You can point out lots of flaws, but it was a generic kids movie.
Right.
So it fucking hit it out of the park.
As far as a live action Pokemon movie went, like, it was better than I was going to expect.
Yeah.
Cast Ryan Reynolds as Pikachu. How hysterical is that? And he nailed it.
Yep.
Because playing the games, all the Pokemon trainers like, oh hey, you crossed my path, let's battle.
Yeah.
And this, it was a little more realistic.
So
and
Detective Pikachu is a game series on its own.
Yes, I know.
And this did differ from that to my I've never played them, but to my knowledge of the game series, this did differ, but really they were using the name to sell you on this story existing.
Which is fine.
Which fucking worked at the end
of the day. It worked well.
It was fine.
They're talking about doing some more, and I'm here for it, man.
Yeah.
I think everybody was waiting for people were waiting for a live action movie as well as an MMO, which we're still waiting on. Yeah. But the movie pans out, man. The movie works. And it was fun to see the live action versions of the Pokemon. I was just going to
say they had a hard choice to make of going with these weird realistic version of Pokemon or literally just CG rendering what was drawn.
Right.
And going with CG renders of what was drawn weirdly just was the best option. Not even just worked. I really think there was no world where you went with realistic looking ones and had it be as good. I don't think anybody really wanted that. We want the big anime eye cutesy Pokemon.
There was a balance to be had, and I think they found it.
They were textured. They were absolutely textured to fit.
Right.
But I mean, we didn't play with... Think of the Sonic the Hedgehog...
Right, the original and
versus what they did. We put the anime eyes back on. We put the big cartoony hands back on. Yes. And it worked. And it was the same thing. Bulbasaur still had these, owl eyes that were okay, so you have a real tiny brain because those are taking up so much room in your skull kind of fucking eyes,
Yeah. It's the difference between Stargate and Stargate Universe.
I still haven't seen Universe. I need to.
Well, but you understand the premise is Stargate Universe was Stargate was this really fun, lighthearted, episodical series. Yeah. Stargate Universe was this really dark plot line.
Who's not having fun now?
Right, exactly. And it was people were really off-put by the whole premise.
People were very happy.
That would have been so for Detective Pikachu, it was a kids movie for the most part. Yep. So keep the anime style of the characters. If you're going to go full dark and make a really kind of gritty Pokemon movie, which I'd be down for, but it's probably not a mainstream kind of a movie, then you can do the gritty, realistic, creepy ass Pokemon. But that didn't need to happen here. It was unnecessary. The cartoon, the textured cartoons worked beautifully.
Yeah. No, they nailed it. They nailed it. Very well done. All right, that's the list?
That's my list.
All right. I'm going to try and move through mine quick because I know we've spent a lot of time on this, and again, we want to there's a main topic we want to do.
There is. Do it.
Okay. First up, I'm going to get my cheat out of the way really early. It's a video game, but based on a TV show based on a video game.
Okay. Explain.
So, Mega Man gave way to a Mega Man anime, which gave way to a video game called Mega Man Battle Network. And I've got to say, Mega Man Battle Network is absolutely the best series of Mega Man. I'm actually, even as a retro game collector, I'm not an OG Mega Man fan. I don't love that series.
Sure.
I find them very tedious and frustrating and nothing else. But Mega Man Battle Network is absolutely my jam. I think I've played all of them at this point.
Okay.
It's a different take on it. It's a card battle game, but that also uses tactical grid squares. So not only do you have to play the right card at the right time, but you have to be standing in the right positioning to play that card at the right time.
That sounds complicated.
It is, and I love it.
Okay.
But it is on here almost solely because I love the game series, and it's a game based on a show based on a game. It's got layers like an onion, and I'm here for it.
Fair enough. Yeah, nerd.
Yes, I'm wearing a Teen Titans cartoon shirt. Let's get this one out of the way. So I do want to give the shout out to the Jaleel White, Steve Urkel voiced Sonic the Hedgehog cartoon from when you and I were kids.
Oh yeah, totally.
But bigger than that, honestly, did you see this new Sonic the Hedgehog movie?
No, I wanted to, but I haven't yet.
It's
Did it hold up?
good. Again,
Nice.
It's got the same Detective Pikachu thing. It's a kids movie.
Sure.
So it's a little fucking dumb and convenient.
Did
It's a kids movie.
Did Ryan Reynolds voice that guy too?
No.
Because it kind of sounded like him, didn't it?
Yeah,
Oh.
it was not him. But
Okay.
it is honestly a return to form for Jim Carrey.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
Jim Carrey fucking nails it in this.
Oh, I'm
He's
sure.
Back. He's back.
Good.
And they're already going to do number
Yeah,
2. And number 2 is going to introduce Tails and Knuckles.
Nice.
Yeah. So
Jim Carrey, look, he had his day back in the 90s, early 2000s. Like, he was it. And then he, branched out and did some more experimental stuff that kind of wasn't his shtick up until that point.
some of it worked and some of it didn't.
And say what you will, like, some people were huge fans of this extra stuff and some people weren't.
Yeah.
But it was very, very different.
Right.
But this one kind of looked like it was going back to that zany, maniacal goofiness of Jim Carrey.
No, and it sold, it played, everybody was on point. The redesigns to go with a more traditional look for him was the right choice. No,
Good.
Shit fucks, bro. It fucks.
It fucks.
Have you not seen Silicon Valley?
No, apparently not.
Oh, you should. You
Okay.
absolutely should. There's a dude
Okay.
there's this dude who that's his version of, yeah, that's good. It fucks, bro. This guy fucks. Yeah, it's good.
All right.
That's
cool.
one of those shows, you're going to watch it. It originally premiered right after Game of Thrones, so I was at our dad's house.
Oh,
watching
yeah.
it, just because we always watched Game of Thrones at our dad's house when me and him lived in the same area. We watched that together. And so after that came on, and literally the very first scene of the very first episode is some dude with Kid Rock in his backyard throwing a party, and I'm like, really? This is what we're fucking selling Silicon Valley as? I grew up here, go fuck yourself. This is not Silicon Valley.
It's not wrong, though.
Well, so that was sort of the thing, is I didn't watch it long enough, but apparently in seconds into that scene, it pans over, and there's nobody at this party. This is just some asshole who made a couple of bucks with .com and hired Kid Rock to throw a fucking party in his backyard. And, nobody gives a shit. And I was like, oh, you're just
That's
trying
funny.
to show that assholes in Silicon Valley have money to throw around. Yeah, no, this is absolutely accurate. And then, honestly, from then on, the show is 100% accurate to living in Silicon Valley and working in tech.
All right.
It just fucking is.
I'll check that out.
Worth watching. Okay, that was Sonic the Hedgehog. Definitely check out the new movies. It's, if you're if you're not into kids movies, this isn't gonna win you over. But if you can stand a kids movie, yeah, it's a solid.
Yeah, if it's good, it's good.
Movie. Right. Let's do this one. Monster Rancher. I actually didn't know.
Yeah!
I did not know that the series came after the game, but apparently it did. So for the uninitiated, Monster Rancher is an anime series, sort of like a Digimon or a Pokemon. It's a kid finds himself in an alternate reality that has strange monster companions with special abilities, and he goes on an adventure to free this land from their evil monster dictator with the help of his monster friends.
Unlock your disc.
Yeah, and so the whole shtick with the games was it was an old school PlayStation game, and the whole thing was at points in the game it would go, okay, open your PlayStation, take any disc in your house, a CD, a DVD, a different video game, and different discs would have different monsters or Pokemon, Digimon, however you want to think about it, different ones inside. So it was just this kind of cool real world feature where you'd want to buy other discs or try every disc in your house to see what was inside of each disc. And it was unique. If you put the same disc over and over, you would hatch the same creature over and over. It was not totally random. It was just this really cool thing. And so the show
It was very inventive for its day.
Yes, very inventive for its day. And the show had like a feature like that where like monsters' souls were trapped in these disc-like objects, and you had to go to these special temples which spun the disc like a PlayStation and release the monster in there. But the show was actually just
The show was fun.
really good. It's a fun
I never played
show.
the game, and I was in the same boat. Like I thought
played the game.
I thought the game came out after the show, which doesn't make any sense if you really think about it.
Not at all.
No, like, because who would come up with that concept for a show?
Yep.
Like, that doesn't make any sense. But no, knowing now that it came out before the show did, that makes more sense. But the show was fun. Like, I never really delved into it and watched it religiously and regularly, but when it was on, I enjoyed the hell out of it.
Apparently, it does not get an ending from what I've read.
Oh, bummer. But that doesn't surprise me.
But I would like to watch all of it. Yeah, I was a big Monster Rancher fan, and then finding out that it came after the game definitely puts it on my list. Okay, next up, this one's really popular. It's about to get its 4th and final season, playing on Netflix. Castlevania.
Oh, yeah.
The Castlevania anime is really good.
That's what I hear.
Like,
That's
just,
what I hear.
I'm hoping, beyond hope. Recently-ish, like last year and a half or so, I really got into Metroid. I really like, especially like the SNES game was really good.
Sure.
The NES game is hard.
So you're saying it's hard?
I can beat it when I have like the rewind features and shit, but playing it legit, I can't beat it. That game is really hard.
It's tough.
But I really love the lore of Metroid, and so I went on this binge of like, it's a Japanese company doing Japanese stuff. There's got to be books and anime and comics and whatever. Nothing.
Really?
There is nothing Metroid outside of the games.
Wow.
Nothing.
Not a comic book, not a graphic novel, not a mini series.
Not a novelization. Nothing.
Wow.
There is nothing.
That's really interesting.
So with the Castlevania series coming out and being really good, I will say it gets a little talky, but that's a lot of anime. Anime is made to be cheap, and it's much cheaper to animate
a lot of
talking
exposition
parts. So you get a lot of exposition and a lot of backstory and a lot of like, this is why this character feels this way. If you're into anime, this will be good. If you're not into anime, this is not the one that's going to win you over. Let's just get like, if you already don't like anime, this isn't going to be the one. It's not.
Right.
But if you do enjoy that kind of thing, yeah, it's a really solid anime, and I'm really hoping with how good the quality and the care that goes into making references and keeping Castlevania.
Yeah.
I really hope they do a Metroid series. I would love a Metroid series from this same studio.
Okay.
Really good. Yeah, no, swear by it. And I'm really looking forward to this last season. I want to finish it out.
Sweet deal.
And then my last one, it's a surprise on multiple levels. It's a surprise because A, I don't think a lot of people have seen this just in general. I think this kind of went unnoticed. B, it's a franchise that really, honestly, I'm not that big a fan of the franchise. And C, it's done heinously low budget and still looks fantastic for how low budget it is.
Okay, what is it?
It is called Forward Onto Dawn. And it is
no idea.
It is a short movie. I think it's only about an hour, maybe an hour and a half.
Okay.
Halo movie.
Oh.
Not about a Master Chief, not about anything. It is about a soldier who is there fighting a war when one of the invisible elites shows up and starts wrecking stuff. It's so good. I don't even, like, I'm not a Halo guy, truly. The 5D Podcast, Mondays at 7, 5dpodcast.com, twitch.tv/MetGameNetwork, youtube.com/5dpodcast. And Eduardo, the co-host of that show, is a huge Halo fan. I'm just not. And yeah, Forward Onto Dawn, you can get it on Netflix, or at least you could a few years ago when I saw it, and with how low budget was, I can't imagine that those rights have changed hands a whole lot.
Sure.
It's really good. If you know nothing about Halo, still watch Forward Onto Dawn. It is its own story that's fantastic.
I liked the premise of Halo, but I hate first-person shooters, so
You
I
don't
never got into
you
Halo.
don't need to know anything about
No,
it.
no, 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 no. That's not what I'm saying. My point is, like, I liked the story, and I wish I could have played it just for the story content of Halo, but I never got into it because I don't like that genre. It's just I'm no good at first-person shooters. They're
Sure.
kind of difficult for me. They're frustrating as hell. So I never got into it.
I
But I'm
disagree.
down for the movie. I'll check it out. What'd you say?
I said I disagree. I actually find first
That they
person shooters to
frustrate?
be an easier genre. I tend not
Oh
to play
yeah,
them because
no, they
most of the time they're just like blam 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 blam, move 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 move.
yeah, no, I for whatever reason, like I can't aim and focus on the go like that.
You should try
Um,
mouse and keyboard. A lot of people really struggle with controller, but then find that mouse and keyboard feels very natural.
Maybe I'll give that a shot.
There's some stuff I think I have some free copies of some stuff I can throw your way.
Maybe I'm down.
So
Cool.
let's get a dishonorable mention out there very, very
Do it.
quickly.
Dishonorable mention.
Dishonorable mention. A lot of news is coming about, and I had you try and play it. You did not enjoy it because, again, it's a first-person shooter.
Uh-huh.
A series that is very near and dear to my heart. In fact, my wrist tattoos, instead of being a miscolored tattoo, and yes, I know this is the wrong color, that is not lost on me, it's done on purpose. Instead of being a miscolored tattoo, they were going to be mismatched. Kingdom Hearts and my other favorite video game series, but because I already have mismatched chest tattoos, I didn't want to keep doing a thing. So instead I made wrong color matching symbols from one game franchise. But this, my friend, was almost a Borderlands tattoo, because I am a big, big, big Borderlands fan. I know a lot of the fan base even hates the third game. Honestly, I find it very enjoyable. Early gameplay is garbage, but once you actually start to get up to upper levels and you're just doing kind of that grind or replay quest, I think the game stands just as strong as any of the other games do. And unfortunately, they're making a Borderlands movie that somehow seems to have all the right players doing all of the wrong things.
I'm sorry,
looks
man.
terrible.
I'm sorry.
So
When does it come out?
It hasn't started filming yet.
Oh, okay.
We're still in casting phase. But Eli Roth is directing, and the
So how do you know
writer
that the characters are doing the wrong things?
because I know who is casted as them. I'm gonna do it really fast. We're gonna go really
Okay.
really
Okay.
quickly through this.
Do your thing. Do your thing.
So, Eli Roth, very, very famous horror director. I get
Yes.
why they chose him for a project like this. Borderlands violence is very over the top, but it's that thing where it goes so over the top it's comical. It's so big, it's ridiculous and therefore funny. If you are the kind of person who enjoys that. That's what I enjoy. I enjoy how big it is. Eli Roth, a director known for his violence, but none of it has ever been funny, and so I'm hesitant. He's not the part I'm against, but I am hesitant because that's not what he's... I don't think Eli Roth and think, how funny. So that's a problem. It's being written by the guy who just wrote Sonic the Hedgehog. Again,
Yes.
Sonic the Hedgehog was a very good movie. It is a very, very, very different tone than Borderlands. We're not even dealing with the same age bracket of audience. So again, I like him and I believe in his ability to write, but can he write this? It's a big question mark, and I'm hesitant.
That's fair, but I would like going back to the whole Jim Carrey thing. They're trying to go out. They're inching out of their wheelhouse.
Into casting. First of all, the story is going to focus on Lilith, who is a person who was raised on Pandora and left, and is now coming back to the planet, which is not even vaguely close to Lilith's story in the game. Lilith is a vault hunter who was born and raised on the planet, and has just been hunting for vaults, and is the chosen one, or one of a couple of chosen ones. They're not called chosen ones, I'm dumbing down just for the casual audience, but is one of these chosen ones who has some mystic abilities. Going to be played by Kate Blanchett, which is, I guess, fine. But just keep in mind that Lilith looks like somebody who works at Hot Topic and has the attitude of somebody who works at, like, Freebird's Burrito. It's not Kate Blanchett, sort of categorically. Then we have Kevin Hart playing Roland, the stoic, serious, like, foil character who is just here to be the soldier to see the mission through and take down all the problems on Pandora, which is fundamentally not Kevin Hart.
No, it's not. again, it would be cool to see him outside of his wheelhouse, but yeah, that would be underutilizing Kevin Hart for Kevin Hart, if that makes any kind of sense.
We skip over the other two main characters who were with Lilith and Roland, so Mordecai and Brick are nowhere to be seen. We cast Tiny Tina, who's a side character that doesn't show up until the second game.
Yes, that's Ash, right?
Yep. As a main character who they just call a demolitions expert, which is not untrue, but weirdly underutilized. And then we have Claptrap, played by Jack Black.
This is going to be an interesting movie.
And then...
All right. I see your issues. I see your issues.
The crazy scientist who has spent so much time on Pandora, she started off normal and was broken down to the point where we're pretty sure she's a necrophiliac cannibal. Tanis is being played by Jamie Lee Curtis.
Oh, that'll be interesting. Look, man.
None of it works. None of this works.
It sounds weird, but think of Charlize Theron in Monster. Like, that was not a Charlize Theron role, and she killed it. Literally.
All right. It's hard to describe if you haven't played it, but let me tell you.
That's fair.
None of this works.
It sounds weird. I will try to play the games before the movies come out. Maybe we'll reconvene on this topic after it comes out.
I have a standing offer with friends. If you'll play them with me online, I'll buy them for you on PC because they're actually very cheap.
I'm down.
But you have to play them.
That's cool.
All right.
Let's do that.
All right.
Want to move on to our main topic? We got about 20 minutes.
Do it.
All right. So, a lot of people were waiting for this movie to come out. I know I certainly was, and it came out. Mortal Kombat 2021. Dun, 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 dun.
We're not doing that.
I think we already did it. That was pretty much it.
Look at that. I got a different image. Yay.
I was stoked when this fucking movie came out, man.
I feel like you need to go first because weirdly, this is fucking rare.
Oh, yeah.
I'm the softer one on
totally.
This. And
I'm not saying that I'm burying the lead here, but I'm not saying that I hated it.
Get into it.
The first, I think we got to go back to the original movie. The original movie was good, but lame. Like, it was like the video game was about just like, it was a series of fight sequences. There was really little plot. It was just a through line to tie in fight scenes. You know, it was a fighting game. What do you want? The movie...
Right. But again, unlike Mario Brothers, it's a movie about a fucking tournament, and this...
No, that's fine.
The plot
and didn't
go into it, but it was about a tournament.
Sure. And that, as far as from game to movie goes, from changing media, yeah, perfect. That's all you needed to say. But when you change from any medium to a movie, especially from a video game to a movie, I expect a little bit more plot. Now, granted, there was plot in Mortal Kombat, but it was just kind of like, it was weak and it was a lot of exposition and whatever else. And I feel like when the new one came out, they didn't really fix that. There was a lot more to it, but about partway through the movie, they start explaining the plot. And they don't stop explaining. It's just a bunch of exposition. Like, let's explain to you why this tournament works. Let's explain to you where your powers come from. Let's explain why...
I'm going to use I feel statements right now.
Good.
I triggered you. Like, you just don't watch enough anime, which really, this was live action anime.
Totally. And that's fine. And that very well may be the case. But I feel like... No, I'm using I feel statements. I feel like you could have been more clever with it. Like, a lot of that probably could have come out during a fight sequence. Like, banter during a fight sequence is awesome, and you can deliver exposition while other shit is happening. And there's a lot of moments like that could have done that.
To that.
Do it.
Banter during a fight sequence makes you need to cut during a fight sequence.
That's
And
fair, but they were cutting anyway.
This was not the cleanest fight sequence I've ever seen, but imagine it with dialogue on top of it. There would be almost nothing usable.
No, I disagree. I think you could have stretched the fight sequence out. A lot of the fight sequence were over and done quick.
Sure.
Especially toward. I'm really sorry. We should have said spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
We haven't quite spoiled anything yet.
Not yet.
But there is a fight sequence towards the like 3/4 of the way through the movie that's like a bunch of fights happening simultaneously.
Yes.
And that was like quick, cut. Let's see what's happening over here. It was all over the place. And like it was kind of cool, but it was all over the place. So if you're gonna make that many cuts anyway, like
are you saying it was like Mr. Chow?
it's all over the place. Yeah.
Locals only joke, yo.
But my only other qualm, is qualm the right word?
Sure.
Yeah.
Beef.
My only other
beef.
My only other beef with the movie was there was a couple of characters they just kind of threw in. It's like you served no purpose other than to get your ass kicked. They didn't even have any lines, and they did that. And this is my concern with a lot of these kinds of movies is you're just throwing in characters for the sake of throwing in characters. They did the same thing with Mortal Kombat 2 Annihilation, which is like, you have no reason to be here. You're here to deliver quick exposition and leave. Why bother? They did the same thing here with Reiki. Rakus?
I don't remember any of their fucking names.
Yeah, and there was a couple of characters in the new Mortal Kombat movie that they didn't even have any lines. One of them was very similar to Motaro in Annihilation.
Motaro
it was like
was wasted.
Totally cool character, wasted entirely. He might have had one line. The guy in the new one had no lines except for.
So let me deliver my like weirdly for me softened version of all. Do
it, and then maybe I'll say what I did like about it.
So let's start with first. Video game movies are hard intrinsically.
Totally.
Because a video game is set up to tell a narrative where you experience something, where a movie is set up for an experience where it tells you something.
Or shows you something.
Sure, but, it's one is delivered to you and one happens to you.
Fair. Okay.
These also have 10 plus, 15 plus games at this point.
Oh, yeah.
Something in that ballpark. And believe it or not, and I'm actually one of the review sites I actually usually very much trust, and a lot of the fans of this review site tore the reviewer apart. I recently saw a reviewer talk about this movie going like, yeah, it's terrible because fans of this series just want to see fights. They don't care about plot. That's not a part of this. And I was like, no, actually, these games have like a strange amount of plot. There's almost too much plot to the Mortal Kombat games.
There kind of is, yeah. Like the books, we go back to those books, were full of the backstories of each of the characters. And depending on who you won with, like whatever character you chose at the end of the game, if you won, it gives you a postscript to their character.
There was also an animated TV series.
There was
a DC comic book series. No, Mortal Kombat lore exists, and the fans are here for it.
Oh, and absolutely. And they keep making them.
Yeah, absolutely. So as a casual fan, like I've played Mortal Kombat games, and I'm familiar with some of the lore. I'm not going to say a lot. I don't want to go that far. But I'm familiar with more lore than I'm not familiar with. Sure. This, honestly, if you're doing a paint by numbers, man, this landed the broad strokes of what Mortal Kombat was. We got it. One of the big complaints I saw online, I saw a lot of people going like, it's not even consistent. They're like, there's a tournament, but then like they don't even fight in the tournament.
That's true.
I thought that was very eloquently dealt with. Where the one guy comes down and Raiden looks at him and he goes, hey man, the gods are lazy and you know that you're exploiting a law because the gods don't give a shit anymore. It's been 10,000 years. Yeah, the gods are kind of over it. Like, is it a good excuse? I mean, I guess it's not the most well thought out thing ever, but it's not like they didn't justify it at all. And I kind of like this because as you get into non-Christian religions, gods were very fallible.
Oh,
very
sure.
fallible. Gods had personalities and did wrong things all the time.
Sure.
So
Especially Greek mythology, man. They were a bunch of freaking whores.
pulling off of canon like that,
I
the
say
gods
Zeus.
just kind of going like, oh my god, is this tournament still happening? I kind of like this. I love that quick excuse of like, yeah, they got lazy.
No, that's fair.
So I kind of respect the tournament aspect without doing the tournament, because also, if you're just doing a bunch of one-on-one fights in a tournament, that's really boring, awful filmmaking, evidenced by the first movie, which kind of felt like, look at these two guys fight. Hey,
for sure.
This built upon that and delivered that in a different way. I like that.
That's fair, and I agree.
I like most of the character designs.
Oh yeah.
Did not like Reptile, but I like most of the character designs.
Reptile was fun. He was a big reptile, but
I want
whatever.
my ninjas to be ninjas.
No, for sure. I was hoping
designs.
he would come back later as like an actual ninja. Like, how are you going to explain this? But they didn't. But it was better than what they did in the first movie.
Yes.
Which was like, why is that? What's happening here?
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense. It's better to just not do it at all than to do it and have it suck.
Agreed.
Yeah.
And as for the throwaway characters, I actually like that they used throwaway characters that were real characters instead of just like, we made this thing up just to kill it. Mortal Kombat at this point has a roster of, if not over 100, very nearly 100 over all the games, because there are a lot of characters who only appear in one game and then don't come back, or things like that. So it has a very, very large roster, and you want to eventually throw everyone out there. I think one thing that might have hurt a lot of people, I knew coming into this that a lot of the actors were signed on for multiple movies. Yeah. So I came into this going like, oh man, if they don't do something here, plenty of room to do it in the sequel. And I felt like a lot of movies these days, and I'm fucking looking at you, Marvel movies past like Iron Man 2. They were clearly just setting up for more. But can you fault a movie for doing that when, like, the biggest box office movies right now are doing that? Everybody wants a franchise. Yeah, this has to set up for that. And I feel like we got our exposition out of the way, and they did the exposition in a way that is modern audiences, like it or not, agree with it or not. There's a lot of people who fuck with anime these days. Surprising people. People you wouldn't think fuck with anime. So that delivery system is digestible for a large portion of the audience.
And that is the one thing that I'm okay. Like, look, there was a lot of exposition in this movie, way more than was suitable for my palate. But I understood that, look, if this keeps going, if enough people like this, they got all the exposition out in one movie. We're done. We're done, and let's make good movies going forward without all that bullshit backstory. Because, look, I felt enough people understood the general idea of Mortal Kombat that you could have probably done away with a lot. They fight. Like, let's just throw some quick exposition out there very briefly and move on with a story, an actual character development, which I felt was lacking in this one. But if you want to go this route, get it all out in one movie, and let's do some more in the next one.
I don't know how familiar you are, but Cole, the main character in this, is a made-up character.
Yes, totally new to the series. Absolutely.
We gave everybody, and I don't personally agree with this. I would actually like to see sequels. Nothing against the actor. The actor nailed it. He did a perfectly fine job. But I just don't care for the character, and honestly, for sequels, I'd just rather see him not be a part of it, so that because he's our handhold. He's our...
Yeah, he was the audience perspective.
Ourselves into him. Let's let him be dragged through this. But we're all done, and he has an easy out that doesn't be like, he died, like they did with Johnny Cage in the second movie.
Yeah, right, that was stupid.
He has a family. We can have him have a really graceful bow out where, like, he helps train the next group, but he doesn't participate or something, and we can move him out. He's served his purpose. We're all done now, and I think most of the audience would rather just have Scorpion or a new Scorpion in his place.
I was kind of hoping that, like, he would become Scorpion. Like, why?
So, before I started watching it, I actually thought he was going to be Sub-Zero's younger brother, because remember, that's a thing in the canon of the games. That's who I thought he was going to turn out to be, and it turns out they did that just with the other ninja.
Yeah.
You know? No, but he could move forward and it would be fine. My preference, let's just replace him with Johnny Cage. He can be
He was
there.
kind
Let's
of a
use him
forced
as a
story.
yeah.
Like,
He
it was
literally develops plot armor.
right, and it was like, what the hell is this? Where did this come?
Literal plot armor.
That again, spoiler alert. The ways that some of these people develop their arcana, as they explain in the movie.
I did like the arcana thing though.
No, that was cool as a premise.
Yes.
But he develops armor from a bracelet that his daughter made him. Jax's weak robot arms suddenly grow and become super robot arms.
So dumb, but so obvious.
So,
I was like,
right.
like, we developed this technology to make Transformers, and then Iron Man used it too. So now, why doesn't every robot moving the future not do iterative, clacky,
Yeah.
roll
Like,
out
it
Game
looked
of Thrones
cool.
Opening armor?
It looked cool, but where did this come from? That
His
made
magic.
no sense.
Magic.
No,
Magic.
it wasn't. It wasn't magic.
It's a magic
It wasn't
robot.
magic. It
Okay,
made
hold
no
on.
sense.
Here's how I will say it's totally gonna work. Sector and Cyrax.
They were robots.
There is no reason that they're not magic robots because
Oh, for the love of God.
they're Outworld robots.
That's the quote of the day. There's no reason why they're not magic robots.
But they are Outworld robots, and Outworld has hold on. I'm
going to stop you right there. I'm going to stop you right there.
Technology makes robots.
I'm going to stop you right there and say, unfortunately, you are not wrong. I concede that you are not wrong, but from a storyteller perspective, it's lazy.
They're magic robots.
Fucking magic robots.
Here's why it's not lazy. You explain magic robots in 2 pages or less. You fucking can't do it.
Make them not magic.
Now,
explain it another way.
All in all, I really truly walked away from this movie going like, that was a bunch of fun. Dick punch. Anybody who's seen it absolutely knows what that means.
You know what it would have been cool?
Fun.
You know what would have been cool? Maybe a little lame, but certainly better explainable than magic robot arms. They put on the arms like they're supposed to look, but he can't function them properly without arcana.
That doesn't look as cool.
It doesn't look as cool, but it's better explainable.
This is a visual experience. No, honestly,
man.
A lot of people online are trashing it. You're not alone. A lot of people, and I don't think you're trashing it, but I mean, there's a lot of people who are like, fuck this movie, it ruined lore. And I'm like, look, maybe I'm not the deepest guy into lore, but honestly, as far as broad strokes go, yeah, it pretty much hit the lore.
We're coming up on closing here.
Yeah.
So let me say this. I did not hate this movie. I actually did enjoy the movie. My problems with it were that it didn't fix the issues from the original 2 movies.
It was very close to a Fantastic Four and Fanforstic.
Right. And so like that was an issue, but dude, the guy that played Kano killed me. That guy's comedic timing was
hysterical,
brilliant,
and I love that he's definitely coming back for the sequel.
Oh, totally.
He needs a metal head.
But he does. No, he died. Oh, shoot. Spoiler alert. Sorry.
But then he gets the metal plate.
They bring him back. Oh, there you go. That makes sense. Okay.
Spoiler. Shang Tsung flat out says death doesn't mean shit to my side.
That's true. But I will say my biggest problem had nothing to do with the movie itself. It was from my own expectations, which were set by Mortal Kombat Legacy. Mortal Kombat Rebirth was a pilot for what became Mortal Kombat Legacy, which was amazing.
I haven't seen it.
The low dude. Oh my God, go watch Mortal Kombat Rebirth.
It's not available anywhere. It got put behind.
Is.
Oh, if you can get me a link,
it's on YouTube. I'll send you a link.
Last time I looked, it got put behind the Machinima play wall, and I was like, "Fuck this! I'm not paying Machinima."
It's available. I'll send you the link afterwards. So
Please.
those of you who haven't seen it, Mortal Kombat Rebirth was a pilot to what became Mortal Kombat Legacy. The premise of the plot changed a little bit, but the premise of Rebirth was Mortal Kombat in a real world scenario where it's not supernatural outworld mystics kind of like that. It was a real world tournament. Scorpion was an inmate assassin that the FBI says, we want you to find this assassin codenamed Sub-Zero. We're going to let you out, compete in this tournament. And it was a very quick 10-minute, I think, pilot. And it was amazing. So well done. And then Mortal Kombat Legacy changed a little bit, but it was still really, really good. And that story, well, first of all, the director was signed on to do a movie.
Yeah.
So I thought that's what this movie was going to be. And he bowed out. So we ended up getting something a little bit different. So my expectations were set up a little higher.
You're the guy who's mad at Star Wars because the Ewoks weren't Wookiees.
In that, I mean,
a lot of people were told that
yeah.
the Ewoks were going to be Wookiees, and
in this analogy, yes, I am, even though I'm not upset about the Ewoks.
Fair. All right, tell them where they can find you, and then I'll do my last bit, and then I'll play out, and then we'll close so that this doesn't stretch on into infinity, you know?
Everybody, you can find me online, www.jbarkersvoice.com. You can also find me on Facebook and Twitter at jbarkersvoice.
All right, so my last take on Mortal Kombat. Here's where I disagree with you. While I did love that short, that's not what Mortal Kombat was, and that would just be another thing that... It's another Dark Knight, which I'm not a fan of. I don't like when you take something that is mystical or magical or supernatural or sci-fi and go, you know what would be great? Is if it was just fucking real. Ugh! I like the mystical, magical, sci-fi, supernatural bullshit. I like that. Because you know what I have plenty of? Is fucking reality. So for me, taking this back into the fantastical and not just going like, yeah, some people throw fireballs, but actually giving a reason to it and explaining it, I thought worked really well. And again, I approached this movie as being sequel setup. To me, this was never the complete story. Honestly, I think it should be a series. I think this is one of those things that has enough lore that it lends itself to a series. I would much rather see a Mortal Kombat series on HBO roll out of this. You can find me, Devin Barker, on the 5D podcast Mondays at 7 o'clock. Same places you were seeing this, Metagame Network, twitch.tv/Metagame Network, youtube.com/5D podcast, or in5dproductions.com, where you can hopefully eventually download audio versions of this, but that's fundamentally broken right now.
We're working on it. Sorry.
And that's it. Thank you for joining us. I hope you enjoyed our brain droppings. I have to micturate.
Good job. Finish him.
Bye.